Okay, moving on from the different methods of production, this time we need to have a focus and understanding of what I refer to as approaches to production, or organising production in a way to raise productivity. So we mentioned previously before that sometimes businesses adapt their methods of production to represent like a hybrid approach. Um, this is alongside the same sort of idea that is a way in raising efficiency and productivity. So this time we're going to look at the different approaches to production, and particularly we're looking at these methods: JIT, just in time, lean production, stock control, the whole idea of continuous improvement, and total quality management. So first and foremost, we need to understand what is the understanding and the concept of lean production. So what lean production refers to is cutting back all the waste in the production. So anything that doesn't add value to the customer. And now if you think just in the production process itself, you'll be having lots of raw materials being used, all the resources, all raw materials being used, there'll be money being spent on certain machines, there will be employees. Now, if any one of those resources at any moment in time in the production process is not working to its maximum potential to an extent, then therefore there is waste occurring. So what is officially defined is that in that inactivity, it's not adding value to the customer. So very commonly we look at waste as in overproduction, too much production of something, waiting for raw materials to be delivered, or a production going from one part of the process to another, transportation going from A to B, the motion, how do you physically get the raw materials, the working process through the production process, over processing, doing too much in the production process, maybe too much paint on that final product, whatever it might be. Checking the inventory, making sure that in your production process you've got everything available for you to make that final product, and also defects and problems with that final product, or the way in which you measure it along the way. So the whole idea is also as well in lean production, by cutting back on this waste, hopefully there'll be a knock-on effect that they'll be reducing the time, because time is a resource as well. So therefore, reducing the time to get the product to the development to the sale in the shop. Now, a lot of these things are all about marginals, very, very fine differences to try and improve it even further. But it's these little marginals which mean that you are doing better than your competitors. So it's a very, so it's a highly defined area, that's what I'm trying to say. So it streamlines the process, avoiding costs through the wastage, as mentioned before. So looking at these, I'm going to go through these quite quickly. Just-in-time production, as it says, no stocks are held. This came from a philosophy which was developed by Japanese production that realised that there's a lot of money being wasted, time being wasted in stocks just being held in a warehouse. So therefore it was seen that companies receiving materials or receiving those products immediately, just as they are needed, it doesn't incur costs. It doesn't incur costs for holding it. Okay. Total quality management. Again, this is like a philosophy as part of the culture. We're going to look at organisational culture later, but it's an approach whereby everyone takes responsibility for the management of quality in their area, from the person the lowest down in the hierarchy all the way up to the boss, effectively. So the whole idea is, and this is the key to it, is integrated throughout the whole organisation. So it would probably be reflected in the values and the objectives of the said organisation. Continuous improvement is another one. So this is whereby, again, another Japanese one called Kaizen. This is whereby improvement is continually aspired to. It doesn't stop. You never stop to say, okay, well, that's the best we can do, and that's it. you're empowering yourself to go even further. And the significant thing is that this responsibility is passed down to the workers, because they are the ones who are seen working day to day. They are the ones who can recognize the most efficient way, the most effective way to deliver that production. And in that, they get responsibility to work in teams or groups with the whole idea of improving the production process further. This is also motivational, motivational to give delegation and responsibility to those workers who traditionally in the hierarchy probably wouldn't come across that sort of responsibility. Stock control, on the other hand, okay, this is also a way of it sounds pretty obvious, but it's a way in which companies will develop a method to keep an eye on their stocks, make sure they're holding a certain amount, make sure they will never run out, and they will never have to turn any customers away. If they don't have stocks as well, you're going to get a waste of resources of your workers, because they are not going to be having anything to work with. Okay, so very often they have a very strict way of monitoring what their stocks are like. This is accentuated further through the technological development that we're going to look at later of electronic point of sale, i.e. the use of the barcode. So every time that one is sold, that beep that you're hearing at the cash checkout signifies the price, but it also signifies there's one less now in stock. That would also be tied up with maybe some sort of email that once it goes to a certain level, an email gets sent over to the suppliers, who will therefore have time for the stock to be ordered, delivered, and also the current stuff to run out. Whereas at the same time, it's gonna, while this is happening, the delivery is making its way, and then hopefully just in time will prevail. So therefore, when that last product or raw material gets used up, the delivery comes in straight away, seamless. So a really good case study to look at is a Jaguar case study that covers, again, a lot of all of these techniques. And what is also significant, once again, like the methods of production, when we're looking at approaches to production, or the way in which organisations will manipulate their resources to make it as efficient as possible, you're going to find hybrid approaches again. They don't just stick to one Kaizen, they don't just stick to that, or they don't just, we are total quality management. The whole thing is a mixture. That is a hybrid approach. The methods are a hybrid approach. Very often depends, once again, on the organisation, the nature of the organisation, the industry, what they're trying to achieve, who their stakeholders are. So it's a very big mix.